Hey, welcome back to the Sunday Serving Channel. Man, what a glorious day here. What a place to consider some gospel stories. We're out here on the mighty Hudson River on a beautiful Saturday morning with the disciples, fishermen. Hi, guys.
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing? Hey. So my sons here, Zane and Benson and Tyson, and we got Thomas, one of the disciples here, all here fishing on the Hudson River. It's the striper run. Striper out running and beautiful sunrise here. See that? Wow, isn't that gorgeous? And river is calm. We're hoping for a big catch of fish here. So I thought we'd read some of those fishing stories from the Bible with Jesus. As there's two really important ones. There's others as well. When Jesus first called his disciples, Luke 5 tells this: on one occasion, while the crowd was pressing in on him to hear the word of God, he was standing by the lake of Gennesaret. And he saw two boats by the lake, but the fishermen had gone out of them and were washing their nets. Thomas, you ever wash nets? Is that like...
I wash the staff net once in a while.
Yeah. So I guess the nets get gummed up. Gotta wash them up. So they're doing that. Getting into one of their boats, which was Simon's, he asked him to put out a little from the land. And he sat down and taught the people from the boat. So I don't know if they knew Jesus, but he just got out in one of their boats. Tyson, would you just if someone came up to you and said, "Can I take your boat and go preach on it?" What would you say?
I probably wouldn't let him.
No? But if it's Jesus, I think you would.
Yeah, if it was Jesus, I would.
Okay. So he taught them from the boat. And it said when he finished speaking, he said to Simon, "Put out into the deep and let down your nets for a catch." And Simon answered him, "Master, we toiled all night and took nothing. But at your word, I will let down the net." So that's interesting because did Jesus want to do a miracle, you think, or do you think that was just common sense, like he could see into the water and see there were fish on the other side of the boat? What do you think, Benny?
Sounds like a miracle to me.
Yeah. So you think he just wanted to prove a point and increase their faith with that, or?
Yeah, I guess. And maybe he had polarized sunglasses.
Yeah, I was going to say, if he had polarized sunglasses, they say you could see through the water. But anyways, it does indicate here, because he called him master, that Simon actually knew Jesus, but he was still a fisherman of trade. But that's also interesting that he said we toiled all night, right? Is it better fishing at night or day? Tyson, you do a lot of fishing.
It can be better at night, but maybe certain types of fishing.
Yeah.
Because they're fishing by net. We're fishing with rods. It's a little different.
Yeah. So, anyways, it says, "But at your word I will let down the nets." And when they'd done this, they enclosed a large number of fish, and their nets were breaking.
Wow.
And they signaled to their partners in the other boat to come help them, and they came and filled the boat. They filled both the boats, so they began to sink. Isn't that crazy? Like how many fish that would...
Jeez.
Take this boat here. We take a lot of fish, but I guess their boats are a little different. But two boats filled with fish for that one catch.
That's a bunch.
That's a haul. That must be several days worth. I guess they were commercial fishermen. We're just kind of enjoying it here. That was their livelihood. So that's amazing to imagine that.
They were probably set for 10 years.
Yeah. And it goes on here. It says, "But when Simon Peter saw it, he fell down at Jesus' knees, saying, 'Depart from me, for I am a sinful man, O Lord.' For he and all who were with him were astonished at the catch of fish they had taken. And so also were James and John, sons of Zebedee, who were partners with Simon. And Jesus said to Simon, 'Do not be afraid. From now on you will be catching men.' And when they had brought their boats to land, they left everything and followed him." So Benson, I think you're probably right? That he was showing them this miracle so that they would be willing to leave their nets and follow him. What do you think?
Yeah, it's definitely
Like, what would it take to stop what you're doing, stop your livelihood, leave your boat, leave everything, and follow a master, follow Jesus?
I guess after seeing that miracle, it'd be probably enough.
Yeah. So that's an amazing story of Jesus calling his disciples, Simon Peter, James and John, sons of Zebedee, fishermen, salt of the earth type of guys, fishing for a living, fishing all night, Jesus providing this miracle and they leaving their nets and following him. But you know, I kind of also like that, guys. There's that story after the resurrection. You know which one I'm talking about?
The bread and the fish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a story that's almost identical after the resurrection in John 21. And they knew that Jesus had risen. They'd seen him, but he told them to wait by Galilee. And Peter said to them, like, "Hey, let's go fishing." I kind of like that because they were told to wait. They didn't know why. And Peter says, "Let's go fishing." You can kind of relate to that, can't you? Like, hey, while we're waiting, let's come out in the morning like this and let's go fishing.
Yep.
So he did that. It says with Simon Peter, Thomas was there, called the twin, and Nathanael of Cana in Galilee, the sons of Zebedee, and 2 others. So that's like a bunch of guys, more than we had in this boat here. And Simon said to them, "I'm going fishing." They said, "We'll go with you." And they went out and got into the boat, but that night they caught nothing. So again, it's a real similar story to the one in Luke, obviously years later after Jesus' death and resurrection. And we fished all night again, caught nothing. Just as day was breaking, so we just missed the sunrise here over the eastern shore of the Hudson River. Must have been a beautiful day like this. Just as day was breaking, Jesus stood at the shore, and the disciples did not know that it was Jesus. And Jesus said to them, "Children, do you have any fish?"
Oh.
That's kind of interesting. Why do you think he was like children?
Good point.
They're grown men here, fishermen. "Children, got any fish?" And they answered, "No." And he said to them, "Cast the net on the right side of the boat, and you will find some." So they cast it, and now they were not able to haul it in because of the quantity of fish. So it's exactly the same thing, right? I wonder if they thought back to that other story when they were first called. They're like, "Oh, here we go again." You know, Jesus, what does he want to tell us this time? And the disciple that Jesus loved said to Peter, "It is the Lord." So that's when they didn't know it was Jesus until then. When they recognized Jesus, "It is the Lord." When Simon Peter heard it, he put on his outer garment, for he was stripped for work, and threw himself into the sea. I've always wondered about that one because, like if I had to jump out of this boat and swim to shore there, would you add an outer garment?
Probably not.
Maybe a life
Maybe,
jacket.
maybe it's a
Yeah,
life jacket.
maybe it was some kind of flotation device. So Simon put on the outer garment and he jumped in. This time he didn't try. You know, that's also interesting. Why didn't he try to walk in water again?
Didn't have enough faith.
Didn't have enough faith. So he jumped in and he swam. But the point was, he loved Jesus so much that he said, "My," and this was after the resurrection. So he swam to shore. And the other disciples came in the boat, dragging the net full of fish, for they were not far from the land. It was about 100 yards off. I love the details here. It tells exactly how far off they were. So you could go to the Sea of Galilee, and you could probably find that place and try fishing there. Fishermen don't like to share their spots, but here in the Bible, they're sharing their coordinates. That's pretty cool. Like, we don't want to show you where we are here because it's the best spot in the Hudson for striper fishing. But anyways, when they got out of the land, they saw a charcoal fire in place with fish laid out on it and bread. Again, such amazing details. Jesus had it all prepared for them, for the disciples, out of love to them. Fire lit, charcoal, bread, fish. But they must have been really hungry. You'll see in a minute why. And Jesus said to them, "Bring some of the fish that you just caught." So even though he had fish, it says he had fish on there, he wanted more fish. So they had to send someone back to the boat to get some of these fish. So Simon went aboard and hauled the net ashore full of large fish, 153 of them. Let's pause by that. It says large fish. Like, Betty or Zane, how large are these stripers we're targeting today?
40
Anywhere between 30 to 40 inches.
Yeah, so the run, the biggest one we caught, I think, was about 44 inches, 45 inches.
Yeah.
Probably over 40 pounds. I don't know how big those fish were, but it says they were big. 153 of them, that's a lot of fish. So imagine all that work of hauling in the net, getting the fish to shore, and then preparing, cleaning a couple of the fish and taking them to Jesus where he had his fire. And Simon Peter went aboard. It says hauled the net ashore full of large fish, 153 of them. And although there were so many, the net was not torn. Another miracle, right? I mean, that's a lot of weight that usually would have destroyed the net. Jesus said to them, "Come and have breakfast." I love that, right? I mean, it's just so down to earth and regular. Jesus fishing with the disciples, having breakfast. This is after he rose from the dead. And none of the disciples dared to ask him, "Who are you?" They knew it was the Lord. Jesus came and took the bread and gave it to them, and so with the fish. And this was now the third time that Jesus was revealed to the disciples after he was raised from the dead. So those are two awesome fishing stories from Jesus' life. Maybe we should reflect a bit. Like, why fishing stories? Is there any significance? Is there? I mean, both of them are miraculous catches of a lot of fish. Is there any metaphor, anything we can learn from that? Like, do you think that maybe means the amount of love and grace that we can receive from Jesus?
Yeah,
Or,
for sure.
of course, it also, shortly after that, well, actually after the first story, Jesus told his disciples that he was going to make them fishers of men. So catching fish in a net, it's the same way Jesus wants to catch all people. That's you, that's me, that's guys like this, that's fishermen's out there in their boats going by. Got to catch us all in his net to follow him, and at the same time he will provide. Jesus provided breakfast of fish, of bread. He made the fire. He wanted to celebrate. He wanted to give good life, sustenance to everybody, and love. And I think that's maybe one of the meanings of this story. The abundance of Jesus' love is more than you'll ever expect. 153 fish off a little boat like this, or a net so full the boat will sink. Hopefully that doesn't happen today. I was kind of hoping for a line to go off. Is there any hope for that, Thomas? You think it's good conditions?
It's still waking up.
It's a fishy morning.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna start having breakfast pretty soon.
Okay, so sorry we don't have any action today, but we'll report back later if the action was good. So God bless you all. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next week. Check it out from the fishermen of the Hudson.
Take care.
Sons of Zebedee. All right. Take care. God bless. Peace.
Godspeed. Yep.
Yes, yes, we got a fish.
Here, net. Make sure your drag's loosen up. Yeah. Should I pull on this one, Tom? Hi, do you want to fight it?
No, go for it.
Oh, it's a big one. It's a really good fish. It's a 40 inch.
Say, what we got, Zane?
Well, we got a nice draper on. It's been a long wait.
Been a long wait for the disciples.
Oh, wait, where's this line there? Tom, can you get this line, maybe?
Yeah, I'll get it in a sec.
Here, put your line in. Just don't horse it. Let it run.
Which line?
This line.
Maybe.
No,
No, you're fine. You're Benny, go like this.
All right.
Pull that net out long.
So here we are after a couple hours of waiting. We finally got our first of the 153 fish. See if Zane can boat it.
I'm not going to go for it until he has it in.
We're watching other rod.
Hi, up at you. Chunk?
Yeah, get that chunk out of there, Todd. Just pull it.
Go. Keep that rod out. Okay, I see flag. Okay, come on, ready? Got nice and easy. Be prepared for it to run once it gets close. It's still deep. Okay. Set it up, buddy!
Benny, now tip the...
All right. Striper in the boat. Almost in the boat.
No, it's in it. We got it. Not as big as I thought.
Nice job. All right.
Oh, that's a nice one. Nice hook.
That's a beauty.
Didn't even hook it that good.
All right, let's get a measure. Get a measure, get it back in the river. Okay.
Let's go.
Congratulations, guys.
Good stuff.
We've been blessed.